So the big thing on the last video was my time on the park run. So last time I did the park run on this video, it was 23 minutes and 3 seconds, which was my absolute worst time for a park run. So this week I was absolutely dedicated to beating that time. I didn't want to really hit that point again. I wanted to make sure this week was faster no matter what. And this is how it went.
About 4 minutes before the race starts. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it is freezing this morning. It is very cold. I'm feeling pretty good about beating my time from last week, but my left leg, especially on the shin and knee, has been causing me a little bit of trouble during the last few days of running. And I've been working a lot more on my tempo runs this week, so the concern is maybe I've emptied the tank a bit too much this week on speed. But I'm hoping to at least make less than 23 minutes. Because I think I was like 23 and 3 seconds last week, so I can be less than 23 minutes this week. I'll be happy. I think it's still very doable. That's the aim. I think I can do it. So as long as my knee keeps going, as long as my legs don't hurt too much, then that should be a very achievable goal. Did the park run and it was faster. I'm not sure how much faster it was or what the actual time was, because I was so committed to getting a good time. When I entered the last straight to get back to the finish line, I sprinted as fast as I could to the point where I forgot to stop my timer at the end of the run. I was so out of breath by the finish, but I really gave everything I had for that one. And subsequently I didn't hit my watch. When I did press the watch, though, it was below 23 minutes, and I reckon I was about 10 seconds quicker than that on the actual time. So it's definitely faster. It felt a lot better this time around than it did last week. Last week it was fighting just needing to stop because it was too much. This week it was fighting just needing to slow down. But the race itself felt far more doable. I felt like I was overtaking a lot more people than I was just having to overtake me, which was a great feeling. And yeah, just a much better run. It was a little frustrating at the start. There's just so many people here for the park run that I struggled to get out of the fold for the first couple of hundred meters maybe, just because there was so many people. It was so built up, I couldn't break free of the pack. So I think I might have been able to go a little bit faster, but not much faster. To be honest, I think if I'd gone any faster at the start, I'd have gassed myself out anyway. So it was probably a good thing that I got stuck there at the start. So that's the second park run on the new year down. Noticing the improvements in big ways, not just small ways, but actually big ways. And I'm really looking forward to finding out the result from this park run. And
so I was definitely feeling better about the run, and I knew I'd run faster than the previous week. I didn't realize how much faster until I got home. So I was expecting myself to be about 10 seconds below 23 minutes. So about 22 minutes, 50 seconds. When I got home and looked and the results came out and I looked it up, I finished with a time of 22 minutes and 28 seconds. That's 35 seconds faster than I'd done it the previous week. So although I was nervous about how all that extra training would have done to me if I'd perhaps been in too tired a condition to do any better, the fact that I made that much difference in a week was a huge ego boost and something I was very happy with. So moving on from that, one of the things I want to talk about is one of the things that really got me into running. I think there are two things that happened in my life that made me really want to take running seriously. And one of them we'll maybe talk about in a later video, but one of the things that really attracted me to running was a video I just happened across on YouTube of Will Smith talking about the keys to life. And in that video, he talks about how the key to life is running and reading. This is the video I watched.
I want to say something that I want you to remember for the rest of your lives, okay? I want you to listen closely. I'm giving you the key to life right now. This is the key to life. The key to life is running and reading, all right? Now listen, very serious. The key to life is running and reading, all right? Now, why running? When you're running and you're out there and you're running, there's a little person that talks to you. And that little person says, oh, I'm tired. My lungs are about to pop. Oh, I'm so hurt. I'm I'm so tired, there's no way I could possibly continue. And you want to quit, right? That person, if you learn how to defeat that person when you're running, you will learn how to not quit when things get hard in your life. Running, all right? That's the first key to life. Reading. The reason that reading is so important. There have been millions and billions and billions and gazillions of people that have lived before all of us. There's no new problem you could have with your parents, with school, with a bully, with anything. There's no problem you can have that someone hasn't already solved and wrote about it in a book. So the keys to life are running and reading.
I remember watching that video years ago and thinking that he made so much sense. That running, this idea of you going beyond your mental self and pushing your mental boundaries, and that being a strength you could take with you into the rest of your life, it just made so much sense to me. The other half of Will Smith's video talks about how reading is one of the most important things you can do. And that is why whenever you see me with headphones on in these video clips of me running, unless it's a race or unless it's my long run, which is meant to simulate what it's like to actually run a long distance race, which is only 2 days a week. All the other days, I'm listening to an audiobook. I make a very conscious effort to make sure I listen to an audiobook rather than listening to music, because I think Will Smith is absolutely on point. The more you equip yourself by reading about the topics you're interested in, about reading about how people have dealt with the same issues you're going through. So I've read books on theology, I've read books on ministry, I've read books on preaching, I've read books on apologetics, I've read biographies, I've read books on parenting, I've read books on marriage, I've read books on all sorts of things to try and help me be a better version of myself. And that's what running is as well. It's about trying to be a better version of yourself. And audiobooks is just another way to make you mentally fitter and to make you smarter and better able to cope with whatever the world throws at you. And that's the thing about long distance running that I found out after Manchester. Yeah, a big part of it is the physicality, a big part of it is training to make sure your body can actually run the marathon and run it in a decent time. But so much of long distance running is mental. And that's where Will Smith's words make absolutely great sense. And it's something I've been experiencing even this past week.
Today is a perfect example of trying to overcome the mental side of running. It's been a tough week work-wise. I was out late last night with a friend, and Darcy, my daughter, was up really early this morning, so I've not had a huge amount of sleep. It's cold outside, the kids are napping. I was at work this morning and I've got work this evening, so it's the only chance I've got to run, and I want nothing more than to go to bed and to sleep. I don't want to be out here in the cold. It's a long run today, so it's an hour and 15 minutes. It'll be about 9 miles, and I really don't want to do it, but I know if I don't do it, then I've just missed this whole opportunity to do my long run of the week. So it's not always nice, but it's about knowing you just need to get on with it and do it to get the results you want.
And even if running in general when you're tired is something that takes mental strength, or running when you're tired after so many miles and pushing to keep going is difficult, it can become harder when the weather is not working in your favor either.
Woken up on the Tuesday to see that it is snowing. So I'm looking forward to doing my run today. It's quite thick snow as well. I mean, looks pretty thick. So it's now officially going to be running in the snow. So I probably won't go as quickly as I want to. I'm going to try and make sure I don't fall over and injure myself more than anything else. But that's how cold it is now for training. Snowing.
So for the last few days, there's been nothing but snow and ice all around here, but I've still done my best to get out every day that I can to go for a run, to do something to keep myself going, to keep myself training, and to keep myself mentally strong. And that's really one of the things I love about running. You are training yourself physically, you are getting fitter, your endurance is getting better, but mentally you just feel stronger. More endorphins are released, you feel happier, you feel better to cope with everything that comes at you, and you do get better at ignoring that part of your brain that says, quit, you can't do this. And the more you can put off that voice, the more you can keep pushing forward and ignoring that part of you that says, don't bother with a run today, don't bother with this, don't bother with a diet, have a pizza, have some chocolate. The more you learn to ignore that, the more you can see the results. And the park run from this video, proving that I could run over 30 seconds faster than I had done the previous week, all came from pushing myself and going out even when I didn't want to, and trying to be as mentally strong as possible. One of my aims is to run a sub 3 hour and 45-minute marathon at London in April. That's one of my goals. But the other goal is to just be mentally strong, to make sure I push myself as hard as I can go and to not quit at any point in that race. I want to be able to finish it like with Manchester going, I gave everything I had. So that's what I'm looking at this week anyway. And now we're moving on to week 4, which is going to be exceptionally difficult because during week 4, I'm on holiday. I'm also doing these videos in the hope to encourage people to sponsor me for the London Marathon. I'm hoping to raise around £2,000 for the Samaritan's Purse charity, and in particular wanting to raise money for their international crisis response part of their charity. What that means is what they do is when there's a natural disaster, when there's conflict and various other things going on around the world, they will send out resources, they'll send out people to help, and they will give all that to the area. So if there's a natural disaster and they send equipment out and things in hospital beds, they will often leave those things there to help with people. They're very active at the moment in Ukraine, helping with the orphans, helping with a lot of people struggling and providing help. And they do all of this unapologetically in the name of Jesus. And it's a wonderful thing to support. So I'm really desperate to raise £2,000 to help the ministry they're doing, the work they're doing to help people affected by natural disasters, by conflict, for those in Ukraine who are suffering. I think it's a wonderful thing to give money to. So if you watch this and you have enjoyed the video, or if you want to see me progress in this journey towards the marathon, or just want to do something nice today, then I will leave a link to my funding page, my sponsor page, whatever you call it, in the description below this video. Please do click on it and consider giving money to the Samaritan's Purse. All of it is very much appreciated and helpful, so please do that.